Hello, I'm Chris and welcome to another programme. When faced with the prospect of having a large housing development being built around them, many people become very lethargic. They can be bombarded with facts regarding an increased population and the social problems it will bring, such as increased traffic, even more strain on medical and police services, and of course the destruction of the countryside, thus turning a rural area into a metropolis. Telling them this, it often goes into one ear and out of the other. I think a reason for this is a sense of helplessness brought on by a system that's like an illusionist act. We're given the illusion we live in a democracy, but in reality it's a system that's ruled by money. I find it amusing when developers say they are working with residents to create a sustainable community. The word sustainable is a meaningless waffle word. My immediate question to a housing developer is, if there wasn't any money in it for you, would you still be supposedly working with the community and do it out of generosity and kindness of your heart? I feel sure the less gullible amongst us know the answer to that question. Over the years, I've attended numerous planning meetings in other boroughs and often felt as if I had accidentally walked into a secret club for overgrown schoolboys. Meetings often start as if it is accepted that vast areas of the countryside will disappear under concrete, and the planning meeting is just an inconvenience to give the public the false impression of democracy in action. A few councillors generally turn up, if they can be bothered, as happened in Broxburn, and their ignorance what they are voting for is often very disturbing. As I said previously, the level of debate is often as shallow as a puddle on a billiards table. Little wonder cultural Marxism and the deliberately created housing shortage continues to wreck this country. I've come to the conclusion the masses have been dumbed down to a level that's far lower than I originally realised. By the way, if you want to know what cultural Marxism is really about, please see the link on my YouTube website channel to Thorium, that's Thorium, who's done a brilliant short video that clearly explains it. It's really an eye-opener. Now back to council meetings. What I've noticed in other councils is a friendship between housing developers and some councillors. After a planning meeting where an application has been smoothly approved, I've seen property developers and some councillors openly shaking hands, patting each other on the back, and seemingly going to the pub together to, I assume, celebrate how smoothly the application was approved and how much dosh is going to be made. I'm not talking about all councillors or all developers, only a minority. A number of local authorities are now starting property rental companies. For example, my local council has started Badger BC Investments Limited. The company registration number is 087674464. You can look them up on Dun & Bradstreet or Companies House website. Often with these companies, councillors become the directors. I believe it is in the company's interests for large-scale housing development to take place in the borough, as it will obviously make them more profit. In my opinion, you may think there will be a select number of private houses going up where you live, but as I said on a previous programme, there's every possibility they may be bought up for rental. I therefore fail to understand how a planning decision can be democratic when it is in the borough's property company's financial interests for approval to be granted. If you're thinking of writing to your local MP, why not ask them that question? It's very simple. How comes a local authority can start a property company and then say that the decision regarding planning is totally democratic. How can it be? It can't. So that's a good question to put to your local MP. Now, little wonder the public are apathetic when it comes to opposing housing developments. People often say to me, what's the point of wasting time opposing a housing development when it's going ahead anyway and it's out of our hands? That is exactly what they want you to think. Providing facts, as I did in my 25-page report, may initially seem a waste of time, but not necessarily, as my report is officially on record. Even if the majority of those approving the development at the planning meeting, where I believe, allegedly, they were too brainwashed and ignorant to read it. But you don't have to go to the lengths of writing a report. All you need is a very short one-paragraph letter. It's the wording that is important. Councils ask if you approve or object to a proposed approve or object to a proposed building development. Instead of saying you object, use the word reject instead. It carries much more weight. If you go into a restaurant and you are served a disgusting meal, you don't object to it, you reject it. Likewise, you are rejecting the proposal. Don't use the word object, always use the word reject. As I said in a previous program, under the Magna Carta we can lawfully withdraw consent. Therefore, a letter rejecting, remember I'm not using the word objecting, to a proposed building development can be as follows. Dear Sirs, I do not, in capitals and underlined, consent to the proposed building development and reject your proposal. Full stop. Yours faithfully. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and remember, please subscribe.